Hello, thank you for coming. I'm Mr. Hall. I'm the orchestra teacher at East Coventry, at West Vincent, and at French Creek Elementary School. Also, we're going to have our beginner orchestra here from North Coventry, which is Mrs. Jennings. I'm going to take you through a story of your child's first year playing the violin. I've been doing this about 20 years, so I'm well versed with this story. My daughter just started a couple of years, so I went through the journey that way. It's interesting wearing the parent hat and wearing the teacher hat. So it all starts with their white belt, where they learn how to pluck their instruments. And this one's called, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Mary Lee. And we're not going to use the bow yet, because the bow's pretty challenging. When we first get set up with the violin, we're just trying to, which end is up, which hand is what. It's really one of the most complicated instruments you can learn. So we take a pretty step-by-step incremental approach as we start off. So no bow for the first couple songs. I'm going to be playing the backing track, so I'm not checking my social media feed tonight. I'm putting the music on. Which, it's a good thing, the tracks that you're hearing tonight, they are all available on the internet. I've emailed them out before, but if you're interested in your child playing on the tracks, it's all very easy to have on your phone or your iPad. All right, so this is Mary Lee. That took 3 months. It's hard to choose. All right, so this is Good King Wenceslas. So now they've learned there are 3 notes. We add another note, and we're starting to use our pinky. And using the pinky is pretty challenging for the violin. There's lots of articles written about what your thumb should do when your pinky is doing one thing. I really like to think of violin a lot like, I play tennis a lot, and I like to think of all the kind of the sports metaphors about how to use your body and ergonomics and swinging your whole body. With the thumb and using the pinky, it's an interesting thing. It's like, if you're a lazy tennis player, like I start off like the most awesome tennis player, and I'm like moving my feet for every shot, but then it's like 90 degrees, and it's like I'm losing all the sets, and then I'm like, I stop setting my feet and just like lazily swinging. It's important in tennis to really set your feet so you can have a good shot. With your thumb and your pinky, because your pinky's so weak, we move our thumb forward a little bit, and that's like setting our feet so we can plop our pinky down. It's a very weak digit, so we got to give it every bit of advantage that we can, so we can have control and power and speed. So this is Good King Wenceslas. You can notice the violins and deal with the reason and reason. So the next song, they finally pick up their bows. They pick up your bows, children. Now the bow, I like to think of the bow as kind of like a magic wand. Because I play guitar, I play violin, I play mandolin, I play banjo. And the violin the bow is way more special than a pick. Because the pick, you hit the string and that's it. That's all you get out of it. But the bow, it grabs the string and it keeps on grabbing the string and you get this long, sustained, beautiful sound. So it's amazing and it's hard to manage. because it's like this, like it's the weight of it is. The weight of it is strange because it's not, because this part is heavy and this part is light. So you would think the middle point is this balance, but it would fall over. The middle point is actually right around here. So to learn how to balance this, it's tricky. It takes time, and it's definitely not a first year thing. I get the row hold set up pretty good, and then it's like you know Michelangelo chiseling a statue out of stone. It takes a while to learn how to relax your fingers and make it be very flexible. So we get our shape right the first year, and then as we go on, we try and make it more and more flexible. So the next couple we're going to do are on the D string using their bow. This is Au clair de la lune, if you're playing along at home. It's in the clear moon in French. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy. And now they're using their bow, they're also using their pinky, so they're doing the white and the yellow belt. It's the kind of how the yellow belt uses your pinky, now the green belt you use your pinky and the bow. So things are getting more and more and more complicated. And this is why we love 7 and 8 and 9-year-olds playing the violin, because their brains are so spongy, because it's just, the amount of information the brains are taking in to play the violin is truly amazing. So to see them play with a good sound, a good clear tone, if the Friendly still existed on 100, it doesn't. If anyone remembers the Friendly, I remember the Friendlies. All my students used to go to that Friendlies after playing all their belts, but I don't know where to go. Okay. Ode to Joy. For their age group. So they learned all their purple belt coming up. This is called cruise control. So again, they're using their fourth finger, they're using their third finger, but now they're on a different higher string. It's very challenging. I got some bass players back there. I love my bass players. They have to, if you want to watch them dance, they have to move. Violins and violas can stay in what's called first position, cellos do. But basses have to start what's called shifting, going up and down the fingerboard. So if you want to check out our bass players on this one, you're going to see them really moving. That, again, is another hard-fought skill. This one's called cruise control. It is our purple. So now, here's the next skill. So the blue belt, we're back to the D string, but now we're doing eighths or T-keys. And to play with fast with the violin, you can no longer use your shoulder joint because you'd be too slow moving your whole arm and shoulder. We start to play from their elbow joint. So in this one, we have practice against the wall, we put tape in the middle of their bow, and it's a tough skill because they want to do this because our body wants to move in circles. And so now we're learning how to work in a smaller circle from our elbow joint. It's called File and Cabbage Down. I had to look this up. So I'm not from the South, but my Southern friends tell me, what does that mean? Boil, file, and then file and cabbage jam. So boiled and cabbage jam. I haven't done it yet, but apparently it's delicious. Now on to the mysteries of the G string. Now this is one that's really perplexed. I've got 6th graders, I've got 3rd graders, and there are things called letter lines underneath the staff. And the G string, this is their next belt, their red belt, is all on the G string. So it's like, it's the dark, undiscovered country. It's a little bit harder for them to read it. They often can play it before they can know the names of the notes. So this one's called A Traveler's Song. It's all on the G string. This is our red. Couple more belts to go. This one's the brown belt. And what's interesting about this, we're back on the G and the A string. We've learned how to, now we're starting to use the entire bow. When we start with the bow, we just use the first half, the lower half. And then that blue belt, we're using the middle. Now the brown belt, you're using the whole belt. And this is where I try to get the kids to feel the ergonomics of their whole body. Like you go out on one side, you come back in, it's kind of like breathing. So they can really have the sense of using their whole body, using their whole belt. It's called June, Lovely June, and it's kind of how it treats the school year. A lot of our kids, they get excited for June. This song kind of always reminds me of the end of the year. June, Lovely June. And for our last belt, we've got the black belt, which is they're learning how to slur, which slurring means they're taking the bow and then moving the bow down, and while the one note's ringing, they put another finger down. So now they have to, their brain has to think, keep going down, don't change the bow, and put a finger down. So like, think about what that means. Like, I'm reading the notes, I'm holding the bow correctly, I'm moving it. Don't, like, use what you want to think, what your brain thinks. When you go down bow, when you put a finger down, go the other way. But you have to say, no brain, keep going down bow, up bow, you know. It's the gymnastics going through your children's brains when they can play this, it's quite extraordinary. So this is, we have one more song after this. So this is our black belt. This is called Long, Long Ago. My brain is being fried. Sorry about that. This is not on the program, but I kind of like doing it surprise this way anyway. But I'm not going to use this anymore, but I do need your help. First, I've got to make sure the band knows what we're playing. Does everyone know what we're playing? Need your help. Give a little more. A bit more. I feel like it's 1970 and Queen is playing respect. Here we go. Cause a lot of confusion. And we've got our junior orchestra coming up soon. They're going to do a version of that song called Powerful. So just hang out for a little bit, enjoy the fun tune.